All right. In all seriousness, everyone keeps asking, why are we shutting the show down? There's basically three reasons, right? The first is when we started this show, I committed to myself that I was going to do it for at least 1 year. 1 year I was going to do it. And a huge decision that I made last year was that I returned all uninvested outside capital on the investing business. And I basically just said, look, I don't give a shit about kind of doing what other people want me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. And it turned out to be a fantastic decision. At the time, I considered to go ahead and stop doing the show as well. But I'd committed to myself I was going to do it for 1 year, and I felt that that was important to keep doing. The second thing is that there's a lot of folks who complain about the news, the media, the mainstream media. They like to point fingers and say these people are idiots. These people don't understand what's going on in the world. These people have no clue how to communicate, all that stuff. There's not very many people who can now say that for a year, they built something similar, ran it, and saw inside the belly of the beast. The incentives are so fucked up. It is so screwed up. The incentives go towards clicks, views, all this type of stuff. It also, a huge piece of it, every single person you see on Twitter, that's not them. Every person you see on YouTube, for the most part, that's not them. Every person that you end up watching on somewhere on the internet, that's not them. They become characters of themselves. And for me, I'm just not interested in it. I really don't care about the day-to-day news stuff. I don't really find a lot of kind of the tertiary conversations or kind of the everyday events super interesting. And what the incentives end up doing is they not only pull you into a lot of nonsense, but on top of that, it also takes somebody like myself who my number one goal in life is to learn and to just spend as much time as I possibly can learning. And it pulls you out of the student role and it puts you into the teacher role. And there's value to that. You know, I talk to people every single day who watch this show. And what ends up occurring is they've learned something. They've got some value out of the show. And I appreciate that. And I'm glad that that's happened. But I don't want to be the teacher. I don't think that I've got all of the information. I don't want to be the person who's looked at for the answers. Instead, I want to be in the student role. I want to be the one who gets to ask the questions, who gets to learn, who gets to seek out the most interesting people, the people who have information I don't have, and go and learn. And so in some ways, the incentives, and it's not just this show, it's not just mainstream media, it's every single other person in the Bitcoin community, every single other person in the crypto community, and every single other person in any other industry that does something that is a daily show. The incentives are screwed up and they will end up in the same place. It's because the incentives are off. And so naturally, me shutting this down is me saying, I'm not going to play that game, right? It's the wrong game to play, and I don't like playing this game. And so if you can't change the incentives, then go do something else. And so that's what we're doing here. And I think that naturally, where you see trust across society is people are not trusting the mainstream media. They're not trusting news sources. Instead, what they're doing is they're going towards longer form conversations like I have done for years. And they're going towards people that they get to know over time. And so we've been doing this now for, 4 years, almost 5 years. And so that's what we're going to spend most of our time doing, is we're going to double and triple down on the long form conversations. Probably many of you, that's how you originally found some of the content, found myself, or found what we were talking about. And then lastly is, as many of you know, Polina and I had a daughter. She's 8 months old. And this is a huge time commitment to do this every single day. We spend anywhere just on the recordings 2.5 to 3 hours a day. And that's just for the live video. Most people don't realize there is nobody, make no doubt, there is nobody in the world who can keep up with me when it comes to output. Every single day for over a year, we have produced a written newsletter that I write myself, 2 podcast episodes, 5 YouTube videos, a 2-hour live stream, and all the social content. And obviously, the rest of the team is incredibly helpful in terms of producing that stuff, editing it, all that type of stuff. But we don't get to create that content unless I sit here and I record or I write or I tweet or I post it. And so naturally, that time commitment, it's fun. I enjoy doing some of it, but I want to spend more time with Polina and I want to spend more time with our daughter. And so when you kind of add all that up between an aspect of the incentives are off, I want to be the student, not the teacher, and I want to be more in control of my time. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't want to have to say to a friend who says, hey, do you want to come to this event? Do you want to come do this thing? Hey, do you want to grab lunch? Oh, sorry, I can't do that. Right? And so naturally, those three things led to me saying to myself, hey, let's shut down the live show. And what we're going to do is we're going to still create tons of content. You're going to see lots and lots of long form interviews, hour and a half, 2 hours. Some of them we've already recorded. Some of them we have planned over the next couple of weeks. You're going to still see tons of writing, tweets, videos, all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think that each one of you who are watching this, if there's one thing I ask that you take away from all this, is just ask yourself, every day when you wake up, do you do the shit that you want to do, or do you do the shit that you think you're supposed to do? And over time, if you can keep doing more and more of the shit that you want to do, you live a much happier life. And so with that, I love you all. We will still post a shit ton of content. I hope that you continue to learn. The number one thing that you can do for us, watch the content, share it with your friends. We will continue to do our best. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I love you. See ya.